What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. We are literally less than an hour away from the huge new update. The Dragonborn era is coming to UFL and a ton of major fixes on paper. We will have to see, obviously, hopefully history doesn't repeat itself and these fixes actually come into play and turn the UFL around. Time will tell, but either way, we have our road to glory incentives. You're looking at the squad. A lot of work to do, but that is what is making the game fun for me. And if these fixes actually make the gameplay better, I mean, UFL, it could be a whole new page, a whole new chapter in the life of UFL. So I'm excited. Less than an hour away, and I want to give you something to go into the new season with. I want to give you the best custom tactics based on the changes that are about to be made. And there are some big ones with regards to your tactical approach to the game. So we will have a defensive and an attacking setup, but we will go with a 4-2-3-1 wide as our main approach to each game, and then we will change accordingly. Our defensive approach is best for closing out games, trying to hold leads, trying to hold shutouts, which for me is important in my Road to Glory incentive. And then the attacking setup is obviously made for a combination of the rats that are going to try to hold on to the ball in the back line, right, and just try to waste time, as well as any game where you just need a goal. Maybe you're down one, you're going for a tie, or you're feeling feisty, it's tied, you just are knocking on the door and want to put all-out pressure on to get that win. You have an attacking setup with this too. However, the 4-2-3-1 wide will be the basis for how you go into every game, and it will be the best approach with these changes, the biggest one being the gap between your defense and your midfield. Not only that, but there's now a bigger gap between each of your defenders. Whether you're in a back 3, back 4, back 5, your defenders are going to have more space between, which means there's now going to be more space, more holes for your opponents to exploit and potentially get chances to score goals, and you don't want that. So, to alleviate it, you go with the 4-2-3-1 wide. Because defensively, you will have 2 CDMs to help cover that bigger gap that's now going to be there. But in the attack, you have the triangle between those 2 CDMs in your cam for a great transition. You have the width with the 2 wing midfielders, and then you have your striker to finish things off. So within this 4-2-3-1 wide, you want either pressure on heavy touch, which is what I'm going with, or balance. I like a little bit of pressure applied to my opponents, but again, this could drain your stamina more than you want. So for you, it could be balanced. It just depends if you're okay with having your players drop off just a little bit more. Do not go with press after possession loss or constant pressure. That's just the 2 you don't want. Then it's your choice between the other 2. As far as depth of defense, go with deep. Keep it at 3, 2, or 1. I go with 3. The reason why deep is the best option right now is because that gap is going to get even bigger, and those lob through ball glitches, we don't know if those are going to be fixed. We will see. Maybe we can actually push our line up now after this fix. However, they didn't say anything in particular about that glitch or many others. That was one disappointing thing. As for the width of your defense, you want 1, as narrow as you can get, because, as I said earlier, there's going to be more of a gap between your defenders as well. So the narrow defense will try to help alleviate that as much as possible. On the attacking side of things, the attacking side will be long ball. That way, when you win the ball, your players are instantly making those attacking runs. Not so many players that if you lose the ball, you're going to be out of shape and you can get countered, but just your attacking players, right? That's the biggest difference between fast attack and long ball, is that in fast attack, you have more players pushing up. Many players are going to be out of position. In long ball, it will be basically just your attacking players, your cam, your 2 wing mids, and your striker. Also, that's tied to whatever duties you have. You can try to increase the number of players shooting forward or decrease it. So you'll see what we do with that here shortly. Players in the box, 5. Width of attack, also 1. As narrow as you can go, because the 4-2-3-1 wide naturally is a wide position. So you want to bring it in as narrow as possible, because you will still have width, but your wingers will be more connected with your striker and your cam. Now let's get to the duties. For both your goalkeeper and your center backs, you don't touch them. You leave them on the default settings. They're perfect how they are. Maybe eventually there'll be changes to this, as I always say, but for now, keep the keeper and the center backs exactly how they are. As for your wing backs, both your left and right back, You want them close to the sideline so they can be a good passing option when you have the ball, providing width. You want them on attacking support, don't cross the halfway line. On defensive style is holding position, pass interception, situational. So essentially, the most defensive setup you can have. They just, when you win the ball, go wider to be a passing option. As simple as that. As for your two CDMs, the two most important defensive players in this setup, you want them both on attacking support, don't cross the halfway line. Crosses into the box, hold your position. Defensive style, hold your position. And pass interception, situational. They are going to be in the most defensive setup possible, not going up for crosses at all, just being ready for the opponent to come at them, and they're going to try to snuff out the attack before it even gets to your back four. Obviously, with the bigger gap between your defense and midfield, you may still have to backtrack similarly to how you would if they were in the CM position. Just now they're CDMs, but there still could be a big gap that you would have to cover. It's just they're in a much better spot. You can imagine if they were CMs and there was a big gap, it would be even bigger and leave too much ground most likely for you to cover, right? So it's just common sense. A bigger gap being added, in this update means having two CDMs closes that gap down. Really quite simple. As we move into the attack, your cam will be on attacking style, attacking runs, crosses into the box, make yourself available. Defensive support is drop back. So attacking wise, your cam is going to make runs beyond your striker sometimes. Sometimes they'll be more of a traditional number 10 looking to send your wing mids or your striker through. But either way, the attacking side of things is more straightforward. The drop back part will have some people scratching their heads. However, the reason why this works out in UFL is because having your attackers provide that back pressure can win you the ball many times when otherwise you wouldn't. And then you have enough time to get into the attack. Yes, it's going to drain more stamina, but it will be worth it because it will make it that much harder for your opponent to create attacks, and it won't affect your offense. Your players will be able to still get up and help out in the attack even with drop back on. As for your wing midfielders, it is the same thing. You see defensive support is drop back. You want them providing that back pressure on the opponent when they have the ball, but then on offense, you want attacking styles, attacking runs, attacking with close to the sideline, make yourself available for crosses, and pass interceptions, situational. Just like the cam, providing that back pressure on the opponent will win you the ball a lot. And then once you win the ball, you will have plenty of time to get those players from wherever they're at dropping back into the attack to support your striker. Speaking of which, your striker is on the typical attacking runs, stay up front, pass interceptions, situational. That one's straightforward. Your attacker is looking to stretch the defense. You can call him to if you want him to receive a defeat. He is just looking to cause havoc on the attacking side of things and finish the ball off. Now, for my defensive and attack, I'm just going to go through why I chose these formations and these setups, and then you can pause and look at both the tactical settings as well as the duties. But defensively, I go with a 5-4-1. Everybody essentially is on drop back, including the striker. Again, this is when you want to hold on to a lead, when you want to keep your opponent from scoring goals. This is the best way to get the most players behind the ball. The one thing is, you do not have CDMs in this setup. So, the number of players getting back is great. You are still going to have to manually pull your midfielders into the defensive side of things, right, because of that gap. However, having 9 players essentially playing defensive as well as your striker dropping back, that will more than make up for that lack of CDMs, right, because you will have essentially a block of 9, and you will just have to be good at manually switching your players and pulling them back to close down that gap. Same with your back 4 or back 5. In this case, you'll have to get good at closing those gaps between your defenders. Now, my attacking approach is going for getting a goal at all costs. Not all players go for that. Some have like a traditional setup, and then they have almost like a plan B and a plan C just for changing up whatever scenario occurs in game. For me, the 4-2-3-1 wide is what I'm like, essentially my ride or die setup, right? My 5-4-1 is only to close out games, and this, the 4-3-3 attack, is only when I need a goal. So when you're looking at these tactical settings, when you're looking at the duties, just know this is not going to be good defensively, right? I know that I'm likely to give up a goal in this setup if my opponent gets a chance. However, I need a goal at all costs, so I'm laying it on the line to get that goal. So just know that when you're looking at these duties and these tactics. Now, the one thing I will say is I've had on pressure after possession loss. Change that to constant pressure if you play one of those rats that's just trying to waste time. However, I go with press after possession loss just to keep a little bit of shape since I'm already extremely attacking in that setup and extremely vulnerable. That way, I actually have some passing options and not everyone just running around like chickens with their heads cut off in constant pressure. So, that is your custom tactics for the brand new, what I call the Dragonborn era. We will see if these changes live up to the hype. Fingers crossed. The update literally is dropping as I am closing out this video. So, you guys take these tactics into the brand new update. You let me know how they do for you, and I will see you out on the pitch. Keep grinding, keep having fun. Peace out.